Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday to your faces. Hopefully you're all having a fantastic start to your weekend. Hopefully you all, every single one of you, still have 10 fingers from yesterday, from July 4th. So today what I've decided to do, as you can see by the title and thumbnail of this video, is check out some of the new vehicles that we got from this latest DLC. I don't think I've actually purchased any of them yet. So we're going to be jumping in, buying them, fully upgrading them, and ranking them, reviewing them, seeing what I think about them. And you guys feel free to let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are on these two. And what do you rank them? 1 through 7 is it we have, or 6? I probably won't be doing the police cars today. We might do that in a different video, because those are just a little bit more unique, right? But anyway, let's jump into it. All right, guys, so this is how we're going to do this video, okay? I'm just going to walk you through how we're going to set this thing up. So first things first, I need to just organize, make a little bit of room here, because I want to put my top 3 favorite vehicles from this DLC in here. Just for now, just for the video. The rest of them we'll put in like the CEO office or something like that. But I'm running out of space. Even you guys know I dump all of the vehicles in like my CEO office and it's running out of space. So we're going to have to do a video where we go through all of that, show you what it is, upgrade the vehicles we want and sell the vehicles we don't want. I never thought I would have this problem because I only buy the vehicles that I really like. So obviously there's some scattered that I don't. There's got to be something that I didn't mean to get or something that I know I have 3 of the Panhard Lacarouse. So we could sell 2 of those. But anyway, we're going to be putting our top 3 vehicles in this slot right here. 1, 2, and 3. This garage, for those of you who don't know, I want this to be where my top 10 vehicles sit. And as of right now, we've got a few of my favorite vehicles in here, but they're not all my favorite. But I will do a top 10 favorite vehicles or top 10 favorite cars, and we'll do a video in here. But for this one, like I say, those 3 spots are going to be kept for my 3 favorite of this DLC. So first and foremost, let's go in and see what we're working with here. Like I say, as far as the police vehicles, we'll do a video on that another time. I do own all of these ones. I own this one. It's just the 3 new ones that I don't own, so we'll do a video of those maybe next week. But we have Legendary Motorsports, obviously, so bottom dollar bounties. So we have the new Pipistrello, we have the Coquette D1, the Euros X32, the Ubermacht Niobe, the Enos Paragon S, and the Bollokan Envision. Why can't I pronounce that word, man? It's the Envision. Envisage. Why is it just that they like making them sound impossible so you can't pronounce them, or am I just an idiot? Don't answer that. So that's 6 vehicles anyway right here. We already have done a video on the Pipistrello, so I'm not going to buy that and upgrade that here today. We'll just do these ones right here. Because honestly, even if we did this one in today's video, it wouldn't be in my top 3 anyway, because I genuinely don't think it's that great. It looks cool, but it's not that great. And then in Southern San Andreas Super Autos, obviously, we just have this little poor guy here by himself. We are going to be buying and upgrading this one today. So that's 6 cars in total. So we're going to start with the ones that I know aren't going to be in my top 3, right? Because those ones we'll customize, we'll bring it here, customize it, take it out, and drop it off at our CEO office. And I have driven these on my PlayStation account, so I have an idea of what I know is not going to be in my top 3. So we're actually going to start off with this right here, because I can't pronounce it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I've driven this. You guys know I've driven this vehicle. I didn't fully upgrade it. It is a Mani Tech, or a Mani Tech, as you guys keep yelling at me for. But I've told you guys before, for me, the way that I judge cars, you know, there's going to be other content creators that are like much more into vehicles, like someone like Digital Car Addict or Harm None, that probably talk to you guys about the statistics, how they feel, how they drive, what's the fastest, what's the slowest, how do they handle. I look at all the cars that I rank based off of how they make me feel. And what I mean by that is just like how it, like when it drives, how does it handle? But how do I feel when I'm driving it? How does it sound? How does it look? That's how I rank my vehicles. Not necessarily on what's the best performance vehicle. All right, so here she is, ladies and gentlemen. Our first vehicle here today, the Bollokan Envision. It's the Envision, okay? Now, as far as all the vehicles we've got here and this DLC, I would say this is probably my favorite looking vehicle. All right, like it is drop dead gorgeous. I mean, look at it's one of the best looking vehicles that we've had in a long time, in my personal opinion. And you may be thinking, okay, well, why are you ranking it so low? From when I test drove this thing, it felt very heavy. And whenever it comes to electric vehicles, I always compare them to each other. And one of my favorite vehicles in the game as far as handling and looks and all of that, which is electric, is the Panhard Lacarouse, which I own 3 of them. We'll talk about that in a different video, why I have 3. But as far as electric vehicles, this does not stand up to the Panhard Lacarouse from driving. The Panhard Lacarouse drives so much better. Now, if I just want to cruise around and look slick in an amazing car, then sure, this thing is that. But handling-wise, it just felt really heavy. So anyway, this is the before, and then I'll show you guys the after. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen. This is our fully upgraded Bollokan. And there was a few things I wanted to do to this, but it just didn't look as good in reality. Like one of the secondary colors. If you do a secondary color, it's like around the front lights and just on the side, but then it's around the back lights too. You can see where it's gloss black that I've made it. I wanted to make it a color, but it just didn't look good on the back lights. It looked great on the side and front, but not on the back. We did forged carbon again, but I didn't want to go all out this time. You could have had a forged carbon, like the back window on it, but it just looked too much. So I just went slick, so it's the same color. And then we took off the big spoiler, and there's a lot of big spoilers, and we just put this ducktail on it, which I think just makes it look a little bit more slick. You know what I mean? Not too crazy. A little more Back to the Future-esque, I would say. And then we went for a metal body. We're keeping the stock wheels on them because they are nice and unique. So this is it. So let's take this thing out for a spin. See if it's any different now that it's upgraded. All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I usually do sound tests at this point. I'm not sure how I feel about those back lights. You see what I mean? This one right here. I don't know if it just needs it. The reverse lights are cool. I just don't know if it needs that. Anyway, I would say let's do a sound test. But it's silent. It is an electric vehicle, like I say. But we'll try it anyway. Let's go ahead. Yeah, it's just an electric vehicle. But like I say, it's just the first time I test drove it, it just felt really heavy. And it still does feel pretty heavy. You'll know what I mean if you've driven it compared to like the Panhard Lacarouse. Go away. Compared to like the Panhard Lacarouse, this thing just feels heavy. It feels heavy. It does stick to the road. I did mention that last time too. But it does just feel heavy. I wish it just felt a little bit more nimble. You know what I mean? A little bit more nimble. But as far as looks are concerned, this thing is gorgeous. You can't deny that this thing isn't drop dead gorgeous, man. It really is. It is such a good looking car. Such a good looking car. This is like, I hope this thing goes into production. I'm pretty sure it is going into production, but I don't know if it's a limited thing. I haven't looked into it too much. But this would be sick. Like, this is one electric car that I would consider, because I'm not a big fan of electric cars. I don't think any of them look particularly that great. But this looks sick. And I think Hyundai does the best job when it comes to like cool retro looking electric cars. They always have done, all of their electric cars, man. But this thing is just, yeah, big fan. There's one other thing though. You know what? We'll probably store this vehicle here at our agency as well. It just looks like a vehicle you'd have at your agency, right? But you can do Armani Tech on this, or Armani Tech. So you can do a remote control unit or a missile lock-on jammer. So that is the good thing about this vehicle. It is a vehicle that like I say, I would take to like a car meet or something like that. I'd take it to a car meet because I feel like it is a beautiful car. You hear what was that noise? It sounds cool when you start it up and when you turn it off. Listen. I think it's because it's a hydrogen hybrid, right? Isn't this a hydrogen electric car? So it has got a unique sound to it. But yeah, it's a beautiful car. Take it to a car meet, show it off. But as far as cars that I would like to drive in this game, yeah, this is just it just feels too heavy. I feel like it's not nimble enough, and that's just my opinion. All right, next up, I didn't know if you were going to guess this one or not, but it's the Niobe. So, beautiful car, but I don't really like the BMW i8 in real life. It was a car that people loved. I remember when it first came out, everyone talked about it. Everyone wanted it. It was so many people's dream cars. I've just never personally liked it. So as you guys already know, the way that I rank these vehicles, if it's a car that I don't like in real life, it's not going to really be in my top 3 cars out of this DLC, is it? But anyway, we're going to get it. We're going to test it. We're going to fully upgrade it. Let's do it. So order. This one's going to our auto shop as well. 1.8 million sold. So here she is, the Ubermacht Niobe. aka the BMW i8. Now, I know this is a car that a lot of people really wanted. It is a fan favorite. In real life, like I say, when this thing came out, everyone wanted it. Everyone loved it. Everyone said this was their dream car. I've just never really been a fan of it. It was never one of the cars that I was that excited for. I remember when it first came out, I went to the dealership, I sat in it, and I was just, I was like, this isn't that great. I mean, I was a kid, but it just wasn't that great. But anyway, here she is before, and here she is after, ladies and gentlemen. So, in all honesty, like I say, not a huge fan of this car in real life, but I was like, how can I make it just seem a little bit more aggressive? And I really like this blue, I mean, obviously. But I think this kind of turned out pretty well. I don't really like any of the spoilers on it, but I wanted to give it something, again, just to make it seem a little bit more aggressive. But I don't really love any of the spoiler options for this game, or for this car, I should say. And then we just went for a more aggressive wheel, black wheel, put some tire stickers on it, just to give it a little bit more aggression as well. And this is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section about this build. Do you think it's a good looking car? Let me know. Let's take this thing for a spin. Look at it. You know what? It's growing on me. All right. So first things first, let's make sure we can do a sound test on this one. Let's do a when you get in sound test, and we'll give it a few revs. Let's listen. That was the most boring startup I've ever heard in my life. However, it actually does sound pretty good. Let's take this thing for a spin when there's not cars driving by. Will you shut up for a second? All right, are you ready? Nice stance as well. Let's listen. It sounds really good. It sounds way more powerful, I feel like, than it should. It sounds like a race car versus like a sports car. Like even the shifts when you go over bumps, I was like, listen. You can hear it like it does sound like a sports car. It does sound, or like a race car, I should say. You know what, though? In all honesty, the way I've customized this, I know it's dark, I apologize, but the way I've customized this, really am enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's got a very cool, unique sound to it. It's not that bad at handling, and it doesn't look that bad. I mean, arguably it looks better than the i8 in real life, because they've made that turning is god awful though. I was literally just trying to turn like this. Turning radius, awful. But yeah, it's definitely more modern than the old school i8. So it does actually look much better than the i8. They've modernized it here a little bit. And I think the way I've customized it is actually really nice. And the way it sounds is incredibly surprising. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Do you like the i8? I know a lot of people are excited to get this in game because it's, you know, one of their... Like I say, this is a car that a lot of people loved when it came out. But I do genuinely think this... It does look good. And it sounds good. All right, this thing is going to sleep in my office. It does look way better. After customizing it, I'm a big fan. It sounds great. It looks great. I just can't get over the fact that it's still an i8 and it's not like, you know, I don't love this car. I just never, there's a few cars that I just never hit for me. Like with Corvettes, never liked Corvettes. And I know they're great cars. They're not for me. I just can't do it. But this thing, I mean, look at it. I think it's the color that I'm just like, wow, I love this color. The color looks good. The side profile looks good. The front looks good. You know, it's a good car. It is a good car. It's a nice car. Anyway, let's move on. Next up is going to be the Euros X32, an absolutely legendary car in real life, but not one of my favorite, like, classic vehicles. You know what I mean? Like, not out of the ones we have here today, but just in general in GTA Online. I think it's a really cool car, but it's not like a dream car of mine. So anyway, let's go ahead. Let's get this thing and fully upgrade it, test it out, and see how it ranks. Auto shop, 1.5 million, sold. All right, guys. So for this one, as far as sound, it's up there with the best of them. It's up there. Wait till you hear this thing out on the streets, man. If you haven't already. The sounds on this are incredible. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here she is before. And here she is after, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to keep this one red because I feel like in real life, these cars growing up, whenever I used to see anything like this, they were always in red. So that's the color we've gone with the secondary being the black. And just we've customized it a little bit. Well, we've fully customized this. It is fully maxed out. All the engine upgrades, everything's been customized on this thing. But I didn't go too crazy. We didn't go over the top in carbon fiber for this one. I wanted to keep it more looking like it did in real life. And then we added the spoiler because in real life, it did have like a spoiler that looked like this. So kind of looks like an Ferrari F40. Definitely a Ferrari F40 style spoiler. But it looks good. I think it turned out pretty good. Let's take it for a spin so you guys can see what this thing sounds like. All right, so first things first, start up. Let's have a listen. Pretty good. All right, sound check. Okay, now let's do a drive check. It sounds great. I think it sounds great, man. Arguably drives better than the bloody first car. What was it? The Hyundai Envision. Or it's not the Hyundai. The Envision. I don't know how to pronounce the bloody thing. This feels better than that. Not gonna lie. Maybe it's because I can hear the engine. But it does feel more nimble. It does feel more nimble than that car. And this thing is an old beast. Don't get me wrong. But an absolute beautiful old beast. So what do you guys think? I feel like a lot of people are probably going to put this in their top 10, maybe even number 1 of the cars that they've came out during this DLC. Looks great. Sounds great. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. If you don't own this and you're looking for a car, like an old school, like tuner car, this is the one to go for, man. I think this looks sick. And the way it turned out, and I think the color that we've done with it too really worked with the bronze wheels. I think it just works out. And they're not fully bronze. They're like a dark ivory, I think we went for. Just wanted it to be a little subtle bronze. But yeah, man, I think it looks great. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. And I would honestly, out of these two, the blue one and the red one that we've just done, I would take the red one. Just in case anyone's wondering. That thing drove amazing, looks amazing, feels amazing, sounds amazing. It's a great car. All right, guys, now we're coming up to our top 3 spot. And I know what you're thinking. There's no way you're choosing the Yosemite 1500 over the cars that you've just looked at so far. But I am, and I'm going to show you why. This is my number 3 vehicle. All right, guys, here she is, the Declasse Yosemite 1500. And I have mentioned it in a few videos in the past, why this is in my... Well, no, I didn't say it was my top 10, but why I really love this vehicle. But I'm going to talk about it here in a second. But do you hear that? Take a listen. It sounds so realistic. But anyway, this is it before. And here she is after, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you may be thinking, you haven't done anything to it. I went through all of the options to customize this thing. And by the way, there is a lot of options for this. But it's not what I wanted. Like, this, like, you can put roll cages in it. You can, there's so much you can do with, like, crazy exhaust. The one thing I've noticed, Rockstar's trying to implement, like, the side steps now. And they're just awful. They stick out too much. They need to figure that out because the side steps on all the cars they've been doing, just like the van for the bail bond missions, how the side steps come out like way too much. They need to half them. Literally half them. They're way too sticky outy. But anyway, let's take this thing out. I'm going to tell you why it's in my top 3 and why I've customized it like this. Of course it's raining. Why wouldn't it be? Are we going to be able to hear what this thing sounds like? Let's try it at least. Not really. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we can do a sound test on this to the best of our ability. You ready? All right. So I know what you're thinking. How is this in your top 3? You've just driven a couple really good cars that you literally just said you were surprised at, and they drove really well, sounded well, looked well, like all of these, or looked great. All of these things, and you've chosen an almost stock base vehicle as your top 3. Now, this is my reasoning behind it. I personally think, I mean, obviously all the new cars that are coming out right now, you can tell with GTA 6 right around the corner, they're implementing a lot of their ways of building cars for that new game into this one, right? There's no reason for them not to. But I think this is one of the first vehicles that I genuinely feel like could have just been pulled straight out of GTA 6. Like, I feel like this is a vehicle they built for GTA 6. And we're like, you know what? This is a random, you know, super common car that's driving around everywhere on GTA 6, but it's not out in GTA 5 online at the moment. Let's just throw that one in there for them. Because this feels and looks, I can't explain it, but it just feels and looks different than any car that we have. It just looks like they're using different technology to build it. It looks a lot sharper, crisper, cleaner. You know what I mean? Am I the only one? Like, it just feels like this isn't from this game. This feels like it is from GTA 6. Like, this is a car that we'll be driving in GTA 6. It just feels different, man. I can't explain it. But that is why I absolutely love this thing. I think it looks really cool. I think it looks unique. I think it looks realistic. I think it sounds realistic. And it gets me excited for GTA 6 because this is one of the first cars that I genuinely have looked at. And I'm just like, this is straight out of GTA 6, man. This is straight out of GTA 6. No question in my mind. It's just different. And you either know what I'm saying or you don't, but it's just different. That's all I could say. It's cool. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, in our number 2 spot is the Inverto Coquette D1. Absolutely love this thing. I think it's beautiful. I think it drives well. Let's go ahead, purchase it, fully upgrade it, take it for a spin, and show you why I think this is my number 2. Well, not why I think it is. Why this is my personal number 2 from this DLC so far. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen, on number 2, the Coquette D1. Now, I don't think I need to explain myself too much on this. Look at it. Listen to it. It sounds great. It sounds great. It's beautiful. This is an icon. You want to drive around, you know, Beverly Hills and stand out? This is what you want to do it in, man. What a cool bloody car. All right, anyway, this is what it looks like before. And here she is after, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing I could have done other than building it to look like this. I mean, this is like what I've seen out and about on the roads. And I couldn't change the wheels. I couldn't really change much to it. I put the blue plate. For those of you who don't know, these plates are obviously California. And in California, the blue is more of like the retro style plates. Same with the black. The black and yellow is retro style. The white is typical, but you can get all of them if you custom order them. But the stock is obviously white, but you can get the blue because it's one of the retro plates. They used to be blue. So anyway, I've put blue on this one. I don't know if this car had the blue on it or not in this era, but it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I took the roof off it. I would love to own one of these in real life one day. Just cruise down Malibu, man. All right, she's beautiful. Let's take it for a spin. I mean, just listen to it. I also couldn't change those exhausts, man. I couldn't change those exhausts from being right there. All right, let's listen to the startup. Why did the loudest car known to man drive past me when I wanted to hear that? You know what? I'm over it. Let's listen to the revs. Oh, man. And the color. Look at this thing shine. What an absolute beautiful car. Look at it go, man. This is what I'm saying. When it comes to me and cars in this game... Ooh, I almost crashed. It's how they make me feel, man. And this car... It's just beautiful. Again, it kind of gives me the feeling of like, this is GTA 6. Has my game just crashed? Well, we're back. We crashed. That hasn't happened to me in a very long time. Thankfully, it hasn't happened to me in a long time. But anyway, as I was saying, the way this car makes me feel, man, it's beautiful. I straight up think this feels like a car, again, out of GTA 6. I know we have some other very similar variants of this car in the game, but they just do not look the same. They do not look the same, I promise you. This thing looks absolutely beautiful, sounds beautiful, and it's just, look at it. I mean, this could be one of my favorite cars in the game, man. I'm not even exaggerating. This thing feels so good. Drives so well. Sounds so good. I can't get over it. I can't get over it. This is 100% my number 2 car. You know, arguably, could even be number 1. But let's jump to number 1. There we have it, guys. Number 3. Number 2, 100%. This could be number 1. We're going to have to make a decision if we want this as number 1 or the car that I thought was number 1. But driving this thing again, man, and seeing it, it's just beautiful. Look at it. Look at the interior. It's just beautiful. All right, let's move on. And in my personal number 1 spot for this week's DLC, or this latest summer DLC, don't forget, we still have more cars to come, which is going to definitely change my top 3. But the Paragon S, ladies and gentlemen, let's pick this thing up, customize it, and show you why this is my number 1 vehicle. And here she is, the Enos Paragon S. Now, listen, if you know me, you know I love Bentley in real life. I've talked about them in this game a lot on other videos, like my top 10, like legendary motorsports videos and stuff like that, saying I'd love to own one. I am most likely going to make this, design this now, just like one of the ones I saw. You know what? I don't know what I would do in real life, but there is one that I've seen that I really like in the past that I'm going to try and do with this. But I love Bentley. I think this is gorgeous. It may not hold on to this number 1 spot, though. We're going to have to test it and see, because that last one, that one made me feel great. So let's see what we can do. Here's the before. All right, and here she is, ladies and gentlemen. I've done a build very similar to this with the older Bentleys in the game, but it's just because I've seen one in real life. There's a Bentley dealership fairly close to me, and they had one in this color. It's like a British racing green, absolutely beautiful with like a brown interior. And it was just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And it had like the shadow pack on it. I'm not sure what they call it, where it's blacked out, all the chrome on it. And it was just one of the most gorgeous cars ever. And this is what I would most likely do. So we've gone ahead. We've customized it very slightly. I think tastefully to make it look more like the sportier versions when they create them. So we didn't go over the top. Just very small little details. Little tiny bits of carbon fiber here or there. But let me know what you guys think. I think this is drop dead gorgeous. We put the bronze tipped exhausts on here as well, which remind me of the new Range Rover Sport SV. Has these basically these exact same exhausts on it. But she's beautiful. She is absolutely beautiful. I love this thing. I love the way that it's turned out. Let's take it for a spin. Oh. Mwah. All right, so it's still, I feel like it's been dark all bloody day. Sounds good. Rev test sound. Big fan. All right, let's see what it sounds like driving. All right, first of all, guys, this handles better than any of the cars that we've driven today. It feels light. It feels nimble, like you can just turn it, tell it where you want it to go. It doesn't feel heavy at all, but it does hold the road. But the other thing that you may have noticed, if we go to a stop right here, right? Look at the acceleration. Okay, let's go. The acceleration feels insane. Absolutely insane. It's the first thing you'll notice when you get inside this car is how fast it accelerates. It reminds me of the Canis Terminus that we got, the 392, like the Jeep Wrangler. Well, yeah, the 392. It just is so quick. This feels the same. Let's see if it feels any different if we do a... Actually, no. Actually, no. It actually, I feel like, feels faster just going from a standstill here. Look at it, man. Are you ready? It's just like, whoa. Yes, this is great. I wish it was bloody daytime. This game hates me. It knows when I'm recording. It's like, you know what? You're recording right now. Let me just make sure it's either raining or pitch black so no one in your videos can see anything. But yeah, guys, it's fast. It's nimble. It sounds incredible. It accelerates incredibly well. And it also has Armani tech or Imani tech. So you can fully upgrade it even more. I'm not going to put anything on it right now. But wow. This thing, yeah, there's no question. This is my number one out of all of the vehicles that we've got so far. Arguably one of my top 10 favorite vehicles in the game. Could possibly be there. Could possibly be there. Look at those exhausts, man. Look at it. And this would look good with bronze wheels as well. Like the same color as like the exhaust tips there. If we had those wheels on this, it would actually look pretty sick. But look at that color. It is just an absolute beauty with that interior, man. And next to this, I mean, yes, I understand the pickup truck does not really fit our aesthetic we have going on here. But hopefully you understand why I chose that and why I chose these two as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm actually really interested to know your opinions on this. And out of the cars we've gone through here today, let me know what your top 5 is. Or, you know what, rank top 6 out of the ones we've got today. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you guys as always tomorrow with a brand new video. Goodbye.